7 weeks now in what could be the biggest environmental disaster of our generation, and still no solution is forthcoming from either the government or BP. Our next guest says he's got a way to not only plug the hole in the bottom of the Gulf, but also to absorb all the oil that's already leaked out and is floating in the water and has been washing up on shore. Jim Reindl is the CEO of ECSER Rubber, which has a patented technology they call the spill cure. Also joining us for a little bit of debate, spicing things up, Fox News contributor Monica Crowley and Alan Combs, Fox News radio host. Okay, so Jim, how does your method work?
Well, essentially, David, what it does is can absorb up to 6 times its weight in any petroleum or hydrocarbon-based product and leave water alone.
Have you contacted BP about this?
Yes, sir, several times.
And what's the response?
We keep getting shoved into their, oh, send it to this location and we'll evaluate and get back to you if we find it worthy. And it just gets pumped into a black hole.
So you essentially get a form letter.
We haven't even received that. No response from them at all, except, okay, here's how here's the information you need to fill out and send it in to us. We'll get back to you.
Now, Jim, we're looking, just so you know, we're looking at sort of a test trial run, if you will, of how your product works and how successful it is. Have you ever used it on a real oil spill?
No, sir.
So you have no essential track record. Do you have any way of knowing how effective it might be in a real oil spill?
Yes, we do.
And what's
it'll
the result?
Absorb up this, in this type of crude oil, it'll absorb up to 6 times its weight.
6
so
times?
Essentially, a pound of spill cure would absorb about a gallon of this crude oil.
And you know how big this oil spill is. I mean, we're talking the size of Rhode Island or Connecticut, something that size. I mean, is there enough? First of all, how much would it cost based on your own costs? And is it feasible with a spill of that size?
Yes, it is, if the correct resources are thrown at it, sir.
And how much would that be?
I don't know how much oil is out there, but our spill cure in bulk would be about $1 a pound.
$1 a pound. All right, let me go to Monica and to Alan here. Monica, polls show, first of all, that Obama could have been doing more, listening to people like Jim, listening to other people. But BP also has a big responsibility in this. Who do you think deserves more blame?
Yeah. Well, initially, of course, British Petroleum, because one of the things that I think Americans find stunning is that companies like BP, other big oil companies that do this kind of deep water drilling all the time, have no contingency plan for a catastrophe like this. I think a lot of people find that absolutely astonishing. But secondly, once it was clear after the first couple of days of this spill that BP didn't have that kind of contingency plan, then it was up to the federal government, because this accident did happen in federal waters, to bring together all of the best minds. Now, I know BP must be overloaded. 35,000 people have come forward, apparently, with all kinds of unique ideas about how to do this. They can't process it all. But what the government could do is bring together the best engineering minds, the best petroleum-oriented minds, and try to knock some heads together to get a couple of ideas, at least in play, and to the attention of BP.
Alan, June 16th. Is when the president is finally going to meet with the head of BP. What took so long?
I don't know. I think that's more symbolic. I don't know that he had to meet with the head of BP.
They're both smart guys.
Yeah. You know, in terms of Monica saying, well, look at all these things that could have been done. I don't know that they were not looked at. I don't know that they're not doing the things you're saying the president should be doing.
So hold on. You're standing up for BP here. You're standing up for the corporate interests.
No, I'm not. No,
well, it's
not.
BP that's going over this thing. The president said it's not my responsibility, it's BP's.
I was referring to Monica's comments about the president not being able to do everything.
The point is, Alan, as you know,
yes,
it is BP who has the responsibility, according to the president, to look over all these ideas.
I was referring to what I hear as the conservative meme these days, which is let's just blast the president. Yes, BP clearly has its work cut out for it, and how does it process 30, with all due respect to your guest, who maybe has a great idea, can BP do due diligence on all 35,000 of those ideas coming in?
Well, let me ask Jim. Jim, what makes your idea different from all these other 35,000 ideas?
I haven't seen the other 35,000 ideas, David, but essentially ours uses scrap rubber that's prevalent all over the world and converts it, pulverizes it, adds a chemical modifier to it in a non-toxic form, cleans up this oil.
You know, Monica, the thing that I hear a lot about through the emails is The president has to deal with this as if it's a war. The president does have commanding responsibilities as president of the United States, as commander in chief, and he's not putting them to work.
It's called leadership, David. And look, he always looks stunned when something unexpected and unpleasant happens. That's the nature of the world. That's life, and that's the presidency. What he should have done immediately was take control of this, declare the area national disaster area, immediately mobilize the Army Corps of Engineers, bring on those tankers that the Saudis have used with big spills in the Persian Gulf in the past, and give the regional governors exactly what they needed. Alan says, how do we know that he didn't do that? Because if he had, we would have heard about it from Robert Gibbs.
How do you know that he's not sitting in those meetings?
Because you would have heard it, David.
Alan. With engineers, with the people you
David
say,
and Alan.
excuse me, with the engineers, with the people you claim he should be meeting with. He is not sending, with all due respect, Dr. Crowley, his day-to-day, hour-to-hour agenda. I'm sure this is a huge focus.
Well, that's to come. He should. Monica could do wonders with that agenda.
Yes,
Jim, Reingold, Monica, Alan, good to see you all on deck. You've heard the saying, where there's smoke, there's fire, and we just found some more smoke when it comes to a certain bailed-out mega insurer and junkie